human beings a choice, freedom we have, and that freedom can be best utilized only when it is accompanied with discipline or self-restraint. And the scriptures are those manuals which help us to tap the potential of our own mind. By disciplining the mind, by making the mind like how the water when it flows, there's tremendous power in that water. But only when it flows between the banks and it is, the water, a dam is built across it, then that power is harnessed. Otherwise, it just flows. In the same way, our mind has tremendous powers, but unless it is not channelized properly, and then the dam is built whereby through the values, virtues, it is the power of that mind is harnessed, it will not be able to manifest its potential. So scriptures are the manuals for the mind. What do they speak about? There's a technique even in that for self-development. We will see as we go along in this book itself that there are so many things about our own personality that we don't know. Until we don't know, how will we even develop it? Before I came to Vedanta, I didn't know there is a difference between mind and intellect. Mind is a seat of emotion, intellect is a seat of thoughts. And even in that intellect, there is ordinary discrimination, subtle discrimination. No idea. So how will the development happen? So the first and foremost is to know my personality and then to develop in a holistic way. So they give the right knowledge as well as the techniques, the methods to integrate the personality, to develop the personality. What is the objective? The objective is each one of us is seeking infinite happiness. We want to be happy at all times, forever. How to experience that state, which today we are seeking outside through objects, through situations, through name, fame, success, etc. We do get it also, but what we get is temporary pleasure. Again, the craving is there, again one starts searching outside. How to turn within and experience that state, gaining which nothing more remains to be gained. That fulfillment is what the objective is. And through this, when an individual becomes integrated and developed and happy, the country becomes strong. Nation building also happens through this. Just like a wall is strong depending on the strength of each and every brick. In the same way, each and every individual constitutes the whole nation. If the individual is strong, the nation is strong. If the individual is weak, the nation is weak. So by individual transformation, the world transformation, universal peace, also the scripture brings about. And this knowledge is time-tested knowledge. It is not that we are guinea pigs and somebody is experimenting it on us. Over so many centuries, people have followed. They have done their experiments, they have come to those conclusions. And those who have followed this have also discovered the goal, happiness they have experienced. So it's a very tried, tested method. So why scriptures are required is for this. Many people think scriptures are only about rites, rituals, puja, devotion, but they are manuals of our own mind. And then they help us to channelize. So as we go along, we will see more about the principles of the scriptures. Of course, we'll explain more about them. This topic of freedom, we conclude with this beautiful quote of Gurudev, where he says, not to do what you feel like doing is freedom. Swamiji, I feel like coming to satsang. Okay, from tomorrow I won't. This does not mean that. Not to do what you feel like doing means That feel is in single quotes. Any idea why? What not to do what you feel? Generally one says, if I do whatever I feel like doing, that is freedom. Why did Guru then say this? Not to do what you feel like doing is freedom. Okay, not to be slave of your desires. Wonderful. Anything else? Emotions. So impulsively, whenever I feel like doing anything, impulsive desire, impulsive emotion, impulsively I want to eat something, go somewhere, say something. Not to do that is called freedom. Meaning, I have the capability to control that impulsive instinct. But if I don't have that capability, whatever the mind says, if I start doing, then that is actually not freedom, that's a slavery of the mind. That I don't have the power to say no to my mind. So many times we know that it is harmful, but do we have the power to say no? Anger is harmful, one knows. But to let go of anger, one is not able to let go. One knows that keeping up till late in the night is harmful. But one is not able to. Browsing is happening, some chatting is happening, something. So even when I know what is not good for me, I am still doing that. That is not freedom actually. That I am a victim or a slave of my own mind's impulsiveness, restlessness. So not to do that is the real freedom. The idea is to train the mind. Gurudev always said that trained mind is better than a stuffed brain. Our brain can be stuffed with many, many things, information, overloaded with information. But the training of the mind is much more important. So that is the freedom. When I discipline my mind, how will I discipline the mind? Using the scriptural wisdom, then I am able to ensure that I do what really is beneficial to me and to the world. Otherwise, I land up doing things which are impulsive, which are harmful. In the Gita, Arjuna asked that question to the Lord. That even when I know something is wrong, why does my mind run behind it and do it? Anichannapi vashneya baladiva niyojita. When I know this is wrong, I am unwilling to do it. Still, as though there is a force in me which pushes me to do this. Bhagavan says it is a desire which is born out of Rajoguna. Kama yesha, krodha yesha, Rajoguna samudbhava. Then mind which is obsessed with some desire, Rajoguna means restlessness. That mind will land up in compromise, even though it knows it is wrong. So this topic of freedom is the first topic in the first chapter. Summary of that is this: not to do what you feel like doing is freedom. And to help us to do that, we have to train the mind. Scriptures are the means for it. And when that mind is trained, then the choices also we are able to make which are beneficial to us. Now what do you see here? PowerPoint below. PowerPoint has. Quickly.
7 plus 3 is not
7 plus 3?
not 11.
Oh, it's not 11. Okay, then. All are right about
And 10 into 20, 200, it is 210.
correct. So tell me, how many equations are here?
2.
How many equations are here? How can there be only 2 equations here? Eight equations are here. How many equations are here? Will you count? Because you are saying this 12 by 2 is not equation, that's why. No, they all are, no? 10. In that, how many are wrong? How many are correct? Where does our attention go to? It's a simple exercise. Not that we should not notice if there is anything wrong, but our focus goes on the 2 which are wrong. The 8 which are right, we discount them. Ah, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. So the human mind works like that many times because it is trained to identify the flaw. Nothing wrong again. You identify the flaw, rectify it. But there are strengths that we have. This we have to apply to ourselves also. How many strengths we have? And what are my weaknesses? Generally, our focus always is on the weakness. I am not good enough. I am not strong enough. I am not smart enough. One goes on thinking, I am not confident. I am weak. I am this. I am that. So the exercise that you can do is list down all your strengths first. And then list down any weaknesses. Whatever comes to your mind, list down all the strengths, list down the weaknesses. And then see how much strengths are you able to list down and how many weaknesses. That will show the level of self-esteem that one has. If I can list down more strengths, which I feel, don't write on top of the head. For filling up in the resume, people write, I'm optimistic, I'm team builder, I'm team player, I'm this, I am that, everything they will write. But what do you feel? That is very important. Because I may write all those things, but I feel very pessimistic or negative about myself, then I will not be able to achieve any great success. So in life, what is important is strengthen the strengths and weaken the weakness. What we do many times is the reverse. We strengthen the weakness and weaken the strength. So the second topic in this first chapter is about the art of right contact. Is the world capable of giving us happiness and sorrow? Yes or no? Of course, Swamiji, we are capable of doing. My mother-in-law gives tremendous. Every moment, sorrow. She is more than capable. I can't imagine which all ways she finds out. My boss knows how to squeeze me. No promotion is taking work out. So the world is definitely capable. But let us see what the scriptures they tell us. The world, we may say, from our standpoint, we may say that this person, that boss, this mother-in-law, that spouse, this child, everybody is capable of giving me sorrow. But Vedanta says they are not outside. Peace and happiness are our nature. Only our response to them, how we manage our mind. They may do anything. Like the germs are there all over in the world. They keep attacking this body also. But health depends on what? My immunity. If my immunity is strong, nothing will happen to me. Same way, my mind is strong, the world can do anything. Because they are free to do whatever they want. How I respond to it is my choice. Easier said than done, no doubt, but that's why we need that strength of the mind. If my mind is strong enough, I develop the art of right contact. And how do I contact the world? It depends on that. World may bring whatever experiences to me, but if my contact is positive, if I know to respond positively, I know to protect myself, I know to let go of some experiences. Not like a cricket match. The bowler can bowl any type of a ball. It can be outside the off stump, it can be a yorker, it can be a bouncer, it can be a ball which spins. Any type of ball the bowler can bowl. But the batsman has the freedom of how to play it. The batsman can't complain that "Arey, bowler ne aisa bol dal diya." In the game of cricket, can the batsman complain? In the game of life, continuously the life is throwing different types of challenges. I have to equip myself. If I say no, I can't handle this, then bold, out, gone. So what is important is how do I train my responses. With the right contact, we will not be miserable even in the most challenging circumstance. You see so many great people. They had enough in their life to become sad, become miserable, become depressed also. But they did not go through any of that. So many examples of all great people. Mirabai was given poison by her own husband. She didn't say, I am a victim. She didn't go to women's right group and say that, look, this husband is, not treating me properly. Prahlad was, his father was attempting to kill him. Not one time, two times, so many times. Did he say that, child abuse he is doing, so I will go to... So many great people like that. Gurudev was not given a place to do his yajna in Chennai. After successfully completing 100 days program here in Pune, the second program was in Chennai. He was invited to Chennai, but all the temples refused to give him a place. Why? Because he's speaking on the scriptures in English language. And remember that at the time we had just got freedom from the country, from the British, freedom from the British. So 1951, Gurudev came down. Just 4 years before he had got freedom. And he's speaking on scriptures in English and open to everybody, no bar of caste, community, creed, gender, nothing. What is this? They refused to give a place to him. And one religious head wrote to him that I curse you that your tongue will be blasted into 1,000 pieces. He's a very big man. He would have told that letter and threw it away. And he did his second program where one Muslim came forward to give him a haunted house, thinking that he won't take it as a venue, not ownership. And he said, the haunted house is there, that belongs to my ancestors. If you want to do talks there, you can do them. They're trying to taunt him. Gurudev said, wonderful, thank you so much. I will take it. We will do the yajna there. All the members there are saying, Swamiji, who will come? It's a haunted house. He said, don't worry, even if nobody comes, the ghost is there. No, I will teach the ghost. And he actually did the yajna there. Today there is a full-fledged children's hospital there in Egmore in Chennai. It was a haunted house. Lot of opposition. Vivekananda ji, 8 years he roamed about in this country. 1886 to 1893, 7 years. 7 years he roamed in this country, nobody cared for him. His own sister committed suicide. No food in the house. She committed suicide. And 1893, when he finally managed to reach there to America, and he spoke there, the first sentence he spoke there, brothers and sisters of America, he got a standing ovation. And then when he came to India, what a hero's welcome he got. 7 years they didn't care for him. He could have said, for these people to awaken them, why did I leave my family and everything? To hell with them, I don't care. He could have taken that attitude. But his sankalpa was to revive Hindu culture, to awaken the Indians. So much of slumber and sloth. To that extent that he had to say that you will be closer to heaven by playing football than by reading the Gita. Because they were reading the Gita, but mind was so tamas, not willing to put any effort. Such people, you see, opposition galore, but will not bother because their mind is strong. So when we know how to contact the world with the right attitude, then the world is not a place which is to be scared of. Gurudev gives the example of the law of electricity. He says, if you know how to use electricity, you can tap the power. So many of these equipment, they are running on electricity. But if we don't know and we just put our finger, then stop, then we get burned. So how to use that electricity is up to us. Same way, how to use the mind is up to us. We can harness the potential or we can be harmed. Here, let's see one nice video of Gurudev.
This is only because of your contact, the right contact with the world outside, nothing wrong. In wrong contact that you get entangled with the world outside. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhata, all your experience, your heat and cold, Shitoshna, Sukha Dukkha, joy and sorrow are all in the way you contact the world. There are some people. In LinkedIn home, and you open the window. And they let go. You go on giving it up. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkha, or joy and sorrow, success and failure, loss and gain, is all by your contact with it, that with various experience. And then what am I to do then? I am here in this world. Agama Vayano Anitya. These are all Agama by. They come and go. One moment hot, another moment cold. If you go on complaining, you can continue. Today somebody is very windy. Oh, very cold. And the day before yesterday was saying that it's very hot. Summer has come. Half an hour, that's all. Now today, just the opposite. Keep very cold outside. Breathe. Heat and cold. I mean, you realize that if you keep your ears open, it's wonderful to hear that. There's one terrain. No rain at all. No rain at all. And I let there be rain for 3 days. Shanti. Rain. Anything you're complaining. My people, my father and mother, they don't care for me. All right, father and mother have a bad day. Somebody, they have bad day, they are not going. They are not going. That's a complaint. His wife smiled. I don't know why she is smiling so much. 6 fingers smile, why should he? I think she is greeting it. Now she doesn't smile. So very tragic. She's not smiling at all. She must smile exactly the size that you expect her to. Naturally, you are never happy. Because she is an independent lady. She has got her own ways of smiling. You should have asked her before marriage that smile, let me see. No, that is not the right kind of smile. You understand? You give it up. All your own mental projects. Agama, Anitya, they are imperfect. They are never the same. They are Agama, they come and go. Calm, deep of heart. When they come to you, joys and sorrow, success and failure, calm them, deep suffer silent. Don't get perturbed by it. By the time you say that I am sick, you have to say that now I am all right. Last 2 days, you're sick, really sick and all that. So the third day I meet you and say, hey, how are you now? Well, I am all right. Hey, but you will really say, oh, that was last week. Now I am all right. Last week he was dying. And this week he is planning the next marriage. Haven't you in your life also what? In your own silent heart have you watched your friend crying and you went there for the reason because his wife died. You went, you also went, he also went. Third week, you get an invitation card. My marriage, please come. Now when you go there, you don't know whether to weep or to smile. So you do both together. That fellow of God, he comes and goes. And he tries to give you an explanation that it is not that I want to marry, but then the 2 children, small children, to look after them. This is the best babysitter available. It's really laughable if you keep on watching how people move from one to the other. These are not to be, should not waste your time in running up and down. When joy comes, you go beyond the cloud. When sorrow comes, you come crashing down. No, keep your balance. Let them come and go. But every one of us will be ups and downs. Even beings of wood is in the sea will have always the waves, and the wood is, what do you call that, floating on the waters. Naturally, that wood will have to go up and down according to the rhythm of the waves. Isn't it? But the same waves, or in the same waves, is standing the lighthouse, the harbor. The waves come and break themselves at the feet of the lighthouse, but the lighthouse is not going up and down. Why? Lighthouse is not floating on the surface, but it is built on the foundation of a rock down below. Therefore, the light illumines the waves. The waves come and crash and die away. But the lighthouse stands steady. May you all learn to live like a lighthouse. In the tumultuous changes of situations and circumstances and the world of change and tossing situations in the world, learn to keep your balance. How? By building your life on firm foundation. And all of us are only floating in life. A little happiness, the mind, and next moment, and go on up and down. Agama, and India, these are all impermanent. They come and go. No joy can permanently stay with you. No sorrow can permanently stay. Then what am I doing? Silently suffer. With dignity. With silent dignity, suffer them. Because you know they are not going to be perfect. They will go away. Agama Vainonika, Tam Dikshatsamara, Nanda Tam Dikshatsamara, suffer them silently with the dignity and the patience. They will not be permanent. And enjoy yourself that life. And to achieve what you want to achieve in life without getting knocked down by all these different experiences that come and go.
So the art of right contact is how Gurudev gave that example. That if we contact the world in the right way, and the example he also gave us of the piece of wood that is floating as well as a lighthouse. So the lighthouse is probably is on the banks of the ocean. But the piece of wood which floats in the ocean is only on the surface. So it keeps going up and down. In the world when we live, this example comes ahead also in the third part of the chapter. That time I'll take it in more detail. But in the world when we live, what we require is a strong foundation. And the scriptures give us that strong foundation. So what is the right attitude with which we contact the world? See, first and foremost, challenges are there plenty in our life. Gurudev used to say that challenges and problems are supplied to us free of cost. We don't even have to ask. One is not over, the other is already ready. They are already there. Now, what is my attitude towards it? If my attitude is that, oh God, why all this is coming, I don't deserve this, I'm a victim of life, God is partial, all that kind of attitudes, then each of them will be a very painful experience. But if I say no, these challenges and tribulations are a blessing. Gurudev has given the example there that a rough surface is essential to sharpen a blunt tool. So I can convert a challenge into an opportunity for growth. Otherwise, I can keep complaining and cribbing why this has come, why this has come. And actually, no growth can happen unless one breaks out of one's comfort zone. And breaking out of the comfort zone may be painful. Challenges can help me to break out of my comfort zone. My comforts of thinking, my attachments, my comforts at the physical level. When I want to grow, I need to break out of that. And breaking the shackles can happen when there are difficult times. Maximum growth a person goes through only in difficult times. Because in happy times, what happens? The mind can become complacent. The mind starts relaxing. The mind starts enjoying. So in time to time, we don't have challenges in our life. We will actually become tamasic, lazy, lethargic, indulgent. So if my attitude is this, that troubles, problems, challenges, they are helping me to grow, to improve in my life. And remember, this is not a brainwashing. People say that, this is very good to think about, very positive, motivating philosophy. But when the problem comes, then that is when one has to apply this. Because what is the choice then? The problem comes, if I keep crying and I keep cribbing, is it going to go away? It is not going to go away. I'll have to learn to accept it and then deal with it. Okay, now this is there, now what do I do with it? Economy is not doing well, business is not doing well. One place, one Rotary Club had come to invite Guru. So they wanted a topic. And this gentleman came to Gurudev. Early morning, Gurudev used to write letters. So he came. And he was in a rush. So he asked Gurudev, Swamiji, can you please give the topic for the talk? Gurudev was busy in writing his letter. Again, after some time, he said, Swamiji, we need the topic. He had just come. First of all, he didn't take appointment. He just landed up. Gurudev is writing, so, and for him, it is, his full mind is on that work. Third time he said, Swamiji, please give the topic. If you don't give the topic, how will we print the pamphlet? How will the talk happen? Gurudev looked at him and said, so on. Again he started writing. The gentleman went. On the day of the talk, when Gurudev goes there, in the banner he sees, as he enters the hall, he sees Rotary Club District so and so invites you to a talk by Swami Chinmaya on so what? Just imagine, you and I have to give talk on so what? He went and he started. So what if your business is not doing well? So what if your wife has run away? So what if your son is not listening to you? So what if the political situation in the country is not conducive? So what, so what, so what? He went on. He says, so what? Will you sit and cry? And then he turned the whole topic. He said, so what if you are a millionaire? So what if you have 10 Rolls Royce? So what if you have 5 bungalows? One day you are going to die. All this will be left to you. What are you compromising for what? So he elaborated on that whole topic so beautifully. He says, so what? Life may bring any amount of pressures. The mantra in life is, so what? To bounce back, one has to use that. Not to fall itself. Life bounce back. Bounce back is a mantra to come up. If I become negative, pessimistic. But otherwise, so what? If life is bringing, I have to deal with it. So here is a very nice analogy. Maybe you have heard this before, of this young girl and how she is going through a lot of pressure in life and how she, through a simple analogy, demonstration, not analogy, through simple demonstration, she is taught some beautiful life lessons.
A young woman went to her grandmother and told her about her life and how things were so hard for her. She did not know how she was going to make it and wanted to give up. She was tired of fighting and struggling. It seemed as one problem was solved, a new one would pop up. And when another took to kitchen, she filled 3 pots with water and placed each on a hard fire, and soon pots came to a boil. In the first pot, she placed carrots. The second, she placed eggs. And in the last, she placed ground coffee beans. Without saying a word, she let them sit and boil. In about 20 minutes, she turned off the burners. She fished the carrots out and placed them in a bowl. She pulled the eggs out and placed them in a bowl. Then she ladled the coffee out and placed it in a bowl. Turning to her granddaughter, she asked, "Tell me what you see."
So what do you see? Carrots, eggs, and coffee. So what is that you learn? Okay, coffee dissolves. Egg becomes hard. Carrot becomes soft. So same situation. All the 3 are going through boiling water, but each one responds so differently. The carrots were hard, they become soft. Egg was brittle, becomes hard. But coffee changes the very quality of the water itself.
Carrots, eggs, and coffee, she replied. The grandmother brought her closer and asked her to feel the carrots. She did, and noted that they were soft. The grandmother then asked the granddaughter to take an egg and break it. After pulling off the shell, she observed the hard-boiled egg. Finally, the grandmother asked the granddaughter to sip the coffee. The granddaughter smiled as she tasted its rich aroma and asked, "What does it mean, grandmother?" The grandmother explained that each of these objects faced the same adversity, boiling water. Each reacted differently. The carrots went in strong, hard, and unrelenting. However, after being subjected to the boiling water, it softened and became weak. The egg had been fragile. Its thin outer shell had protected its liquid interior, but after sitting through the boiling water, its inside became hardened. The ground coffee beans were unique, however. After they were in the boiling water, they had changed the water. Then she asked her granddaughter one final question. Which one will you choose?
So which one will we choose to be? Carrot, coffee, or the egg? Hard, so the water is hot. With all the challenges that come to us, we can become soft, we can break down like a carrot, or we can become hard, become strong like the egg, or we can turn around that very opportunity, the challenge into a huge opportunity. Coffee flavors that very hot water itself. So the world is a mixture of good and bad. How we relate to it intelligently is how happy we will be. If we keep waiting that people will change, situation will change, objects will change, we will keep waiting. And nothing wrong in attempting to change wherever we feel in our capacity, what we can do, there's nothing wrong. But our inner nature determines our experience, not the world outside. And so it is very important to constantly be aware of what is my attitude, what are my emotions, how do I respond. So when challenges come, my attitude can be that I use them to become stronger. Okay, 3 volunteers. Quickly. Any 3 who have not come till now? Come up. What do you see here? What do you see? What did you say? A glass of water, half empty, half full.
Half a glass.
Half a glass, half empty, half. See carefully. Half empty. Huh?
You read the lesson.
You have read the lesson, but there is many other things in this. Generally, we only see half empty and half full. So we say half empty and half full, meaning what? It is half full with water. But if I say it is a full glass, it is full with air, half with air, half with water, so the glass is full. Are there any other perceptions possible for this? Or only this much? That's all? Okay, thank you. Sit down. Now let us see. For an optimist, it is half full. For a pessimist, it is half empty. For a chemist, it is full. For a mathematician, it is this. For an engineer, it is the glass is too big. It's double the size of what it is required to be. For a philosopher, is there really a glass? Some more perception, you see. Psychology says, how does this glass of water make you feel? Nutrition guy says there isn't enough water for a person's daily needs. Business or marketing guy says, will the glass sell better marketed as half full or half empty? Literature guy says, what is the symbolism of the glass not being completely full? Women studies, would you give a man a full glass? Undeclared, I'm not really unsure. I'm not really sure. Can you ask me later? Each of them is the perception. Law, what do you want it to be? Accounting the glass is 50% in the red. Art says the water doesn't complement the air above it. Glass or water is the same, but each of them is responding so differently. So the situations in life are many times common. Like right now, so many of you are listening to the same class, but each one's response will be very different. So the world outside matters very little. My response to it matters the maximum. And my response to the world determines my experience, not the world outside. How I experience the world is fully dependent on my internal processing. How do I respond? To respond proactively, positively to a most challenging circumstance, we require that right mindset. That is the first requirement. The art of right contact means that. To have the right mindset. And what is that right mindset? Is the mindset that I have a choice. First and foremost, to recognize that I have a choice. General tendency would be when a problem comes, I become weak, become scared, allow it to overwhelm me. So an optimist is one who sees opportunity in every difficulty. But a pessimist is one who will see difficulty in every opportunity. Go on cribbing, complaining about everything. Smallest of things can bring stress in their minds. Smallest. One has to get up in the morning and come on a Saturday to a class. That can bring stress. Smallest of things it can be. Even if everything is going well, they will be scared. They are really scared. Everything is going well. Touch wood, touch wood. I don't know what they do, touching wood. And then some people say everything is going well, maybe it is a silence before the storm. I'm really scared. Why are we inviting trouble? Unnecessary. The mind is, which is God, which has become weak, will try to see problem in every situation. But a mind which is strong will come out of even the difficult challenges. So what is the major difference? The difference is in attitude, one aspect. And the second aspect is the development of gratitude. How do I develop the positive attitude? The method is gratitude. To see, like we saw the equations now. 8 equations were right, 2 were wrong. If I focus on those 8, I will get the strength to deal with the 2 which are wrong. But if I focus only on those 2, I need to fight with this, I need to remove this has to go out of my life, I don't like this. Those 2 will overwhelm my mind so much that the 8 which are good, I will not even bother about. So in life, when I develop gratitude, that what I have, it makes my mind tranquil. It makes me feel good. It gives me the inner strength to face the challenges. If we focus on what we have and stop complaining about what we don't have, then we will get the strength to face the challenges of life. For that, gratitude is very important. So one exercise one can do is the gratitude and contentment exercise. In the course, Gurudev has given this example, right? An individual who is lame looks at somebody who is briskly walking on the, let us say, marine drive, feels less, feels jealous, or feels sad that, I don't have legs, that person is walking so beautifully. Somebody who is walking is looking at the biker, somebody who has a bike is looking at somebody who has a car, somebody who has a car is looking at somebody who has flight, chartered planes and all that. And some people who have chartered planes also, they are wondering about rocket, and some people are able to go into the space. Where is the contentment? Not that we should not progress in life, not that we should not grow in life, but growth can happen out of inspiration. That is the real growth. But when we compare and we feel, what am I? I don't have enough. So look at that person, so much more that the person has. Then the mind is always filled with the feeling of inadequacy. I don't have enough. You see a plant, how it grows. Does it look at the others and compare and grow? It just grows because the seed is there, and when the environment is provided, it is because of the seed that it keeps growing. And it grows into such a huge tree, just a small seed, because the potential in that seed is so much. If I trust my own potential, that I have the capability, I have the potential, I have to keep on manifesting that potential. Now our environment is not conducive. You can, in spite of that, work hard and give your best. And whatever result come will come. Efforts will bring the proper results. I need to have that faith and keep working. So if a person has this bhav that, okay, whatever I have within me, let me start manifesting that potential. Instead of comparing, how will I have that feeling? When I have gratitude in my heart. So gratitude is one exercise that one can do this week. To be contented within and find an inspiration source. Growth happens because of inspiration. When I love something, I will grow in that. Zakir Hussain plays tabla. Does he play tabla by complaining? As if you know God every day I have to play 8 hours. No. Does he compare? Look at that person, look at this person. No, he loves to play, so he plays. And in that inspiration, one grows. So to grow, today a lot of people say you should not be contented in life. Discontentment is good. Then only you will grow in life. Discontentment is not required. Inspiration is required. High goals are required. When I am inspired to set high goals, high standards, then I will grow. Not competing with others, competing with myself. Keep on rising higher and higher. So be contented and find inspiration, not comparison and insecurity, and refuse to crave for more. That craving that I don't have enough and I want more, that craving must go. If I am happy with what I have an inspiring goal in my life, I will definitely do. I can enjoy what I have also. But if I don't have that feeling of satisfaction and contentment, I will not be happy with what I have and with whom I am. You know, a study which is done, even the corporate study which is done, it is said that people who are discontented tend to be constantly complaining. And nobody likes to be around people who are constantly complaining. Discontentment brings so much of negativity in the mind. But if I am contented, you may say, how can you be contented when things are not going right? For those things which are not going right, we need to put efforts to rectify them. Contentment is not about that. Contentment is about with all those which is already going right. With focus on what is not going right, I am forgetting what is already going right. Hence it is that Gurudev gives that example in the lesson. I had no shoes and complained till I met a person who had no feet. When I see what I already have, there is so much more. You know, I forget the exact percentage, but it is said that if you have food, clothing, and basic shelter, you are one of the rarest human beings in this world. Out of 7 billion human beings, very few people have this food, clothing, shelter. So many are suffering without even the basic necessities. But when our mind is on something else, we are comparing with someone else, and that is called the rat race. Continuously, I keep looking at somebody who is higher than me and I keep feeling discontented. Then I reach that level, then there's somebody else higher than me, and I keep looking at them. The whole life goes in that. Rather, I can grow when I find something inspiring to do and set a high standard in life. So here is one very nice, simple video about gratitude. And this whole week, one exercise that one can do is a gratitude exercise.
And you want to be happier, healthier, and an all-around better person? There's a way that is free, easy, and totally up to you. It's gratitude. Gratitude is much more than saying thanks. It's a way of seeing the world. And with practice, we can train ourselves to feel gratitude more frequently and powerfully. The scientific evidence is clear. Practicing gratitude is good for you and your loved ones. Grateful people get sick less, have healthier hearts, exercise more, get better sleep. Grateful people are more optimistic, overcome adversity better, find greater joy in life. Grateful people are more generous with their time and money, are more forgiving, and build better relationships with loved ones. Just like strengthening muscles, you can build gratitude simply by exercising it. So, how do you develop an attitude of gratitude? Take the first step now. Write a letter to someone you know and tell them why you are grateful for them. Or think about the blessings you may take for granted. Or start a gratitude journal at elementsofgratitude.org and get serious about becoming more grateful. Thanks for watching.
This is a very simple, tried, tested method. When we practice gratitude, how it transforms the whole personality. So there are various methods. You can go to that site which they said element of gratitude. Or you can create a gratitude jar like this. Make your own jar, decorate it nicely. Every day write at least one or two things that you genuinely feel grateful for. See, what is important is the feeling. Don't write from the top of the head. I'm very grateful for the healthy body. Put it inside. No. Feel and then write and then put it. This gratitude jar, it can be not just a note, it can be anything. It can be a small thing, it can be any gift somebody has given. Whatever makes you feel that my heart is filled with gratitude because of this, put it inside that. And whenever we feel low, open the jar, pick out something, read, it will fill the heart with gratitude. So one is you can practice with a gratitude jar, different types of jars, decorated. Other option is you can have gratitude rock or any such reminder. You put it in your pocket and whenever you put your hand in the pocket, you touch it, which will invoke gratitude in the heart. Or you can use gratitude journal. I'm going to put this in the folder. For 7 days, there are each day different things that you can answer. Fill that up. If you like, continue it for the whole year. So gratitude jar, gratitude rock, gratitude journal, and gratitude app. There are so many gratitude apps available now on the Play Store. One can go through them. And they will ask you, they will put reminder also. It reminds also, so that I can invoke gratitude. Now this importance of gratitude, only when I do it, then I will realize it. You may say that, sometimes I don't feel the gratitude. Then what to do? See, the feeling may vary. The feeling may not be as every day it may not be the same, as intensely as we may want to feel. But if I think about it, that today what is the gratitude in my heart? What was good which happened? What made me smile? To whatever extent I feel, I should be able to write it down, put it inside. Because then I'm consciously bringing and training my mind to see the positive. Then whenever I go through any circumstance in life, suppose I see a performance. There are so many good things in the performance. There are some things which maybe, one can improve those better. But the mind will not focus only on those. The mind will be happy with what are the other things that have happened well. Even when we bring up our children, how much we bring up our children with positive vocabulary, encouragement, love, affection, or we think that they are defective products which are supposed to be perfected. A lot of people bring up the children like that. They identify their flaws and go on trying to tell them you need to do this better, you need to do that better. But the child actually will thrive on love, encouragement, positivity. That builds a self-esteem. The biggest advantage of gratitude is I feel strong and my self-esteem is healthy and positive. And so the people around me also will have that type of an experience with me. But when I keep finding only the faults, my self-esteem about myself also is low. I make others also feel less. One common complaint that people generally have is, no matter what we do, you are never satisfied. Generally people have that complaint. Why? Because the person's mind is not having gratitude. So no matter how much you do around with that person is not feeling happy at all. Because it was not found a source of happiness within. So gratitude is one of the simplest ways to fill our heart with happiness, with fullness. So that is the second part of this first chapter. First part was about freedom, second part is about right contact, and when we have gratitude, we will be able to contact the world positively, and when challenging circumstances also come, we will be able to take them as a means to sharpen our personality. The third part of this is the human heritage. Human heritage means freedom, happiness, peace is our nature. But when we don't know that, we are craving for it in the world outside. When we run behind it in the world outside, we get tossed about. So that example that Gurudev had given, see, when senses are restrained, controlled, then our mind is able to respond better to the challenge. But when the senses are not restrained, mind is not controlled, we get tossed about very easily. So the example of the ocean is given here, that how Gurudev gave the example that there is a piece of wood which is floating. In the same way, a lot of us, we float on the surface of life and keep going up and down with the waves as they come up, go down. We keep going up and down in the waves. So this analogy is given where the ocean is like life and these waves are all the various pairs of opposites, heat and cold, pleasure and pain, success and failure, praise and criticism. They keep coming and we get lashed by them and we keep going up and down. But in the same ocean, when we go into the depth, there is peaceful water. The waves are only on the surface. In the same way, in the whole world of constant change, constant pairs of opposites, the depth of it is there is a changeless, absolute, pure consciousness, which is the substratum of the world, which is our nature also. But when we don't know, we are like the boat. Not an ordinary boat, and a boat which is abandoned. See, a boat which has a boatman will row, the boatman will take it through the stormy seas also and come to the ocean. But a boat which is abandoned, what happens to that boat? It just gets tossed about, gets destroyed in the ocean. In the same way, right now, this mind is like that. It's an abandoned boat in the ocean of life, getting tossed around by the waves, not finding a way to reach the shores. Scriptures are like the mariner's compass. A boatman can use the mariner's compass and find, okay, this is the direction of the north and this is where I should go and this is how I will reach the shore. So an abandoned boat can also be brought to the shores when there is a compass and then there is a boatman. Scriptures are the compass and the teacher is the boatman who brings home this boat which is abandoned. Now to do that is when we have to study the scriptures. That is one part of the analogy. That how this abandoned boat, which is our mind, can be navigated in and through the various trials and tribulations of life and can reach the destination or the goal of life. The second example, second part of this analogy that Gurudev has given is, what is it that makes us go up and down is our emotions. See, when circumstances are conducive or non-conducive, why is it that we go up and down? Because of our mind. The mind has certain emotions that it goes through. Happy emotions make us go up, sad emotions make us go down. So we keep tossing. Now many think that emotions are a weakness. Are emotions really a weakness? Yes or no? Negative emotions, okay. I'm just asking in general. Are emotions a weakness? So how many say yes? Okay. So tell me, why are emotions a weakness?
So hard, so intellect or like emotionally very that is how we then you don't feel more strong, become passionate.
That is overwhelmed emotions. Emotions, when they overwhelm my thinking, then we don't act objectively, then they are a weakness, no doubt. But in general, is emotion the weakness? 3, 4 of you had raised your hands. My question is in general about emotions. Are emotions a weakness in general?
No, I don't think so.
Emotions by themselves cannot be a weakness. In fact, emotions are a great strength. When we are moved to do something, we are able to give our best or not. When we feel for something, then only we give our best. We are able to sacrifice whatever is required for that goal. We can sacrifice and reach that goal. People have given up their lives or not for the sake of this country because they felt this country's freedom is required. Emotions are a great strength, but emotionalism is a weakness, and that is what in the ocean of life, if I want to reach the shores, emotionalism is that which makes me weak and I get tossed about here and there. Emotions cannot be weak, but emotionalism definitely is weak because it makes the mind, like Arjun was getting completely confused about his duty because of emotions or emotionalism. Emotionalism, sentimentalism. So when this mind gets completely carried away by some emotion, forgets its duty, forgets objectivity, forgets rationality, that is a weakness. And human heritage is that I am able to control that mind, to channelize that emotionalism, to let go of attachment part of it, and to channelize it into positive direction, whereby I can harness the strength of the emotions. Even in spiritual life, it is said that devotion, when it is invoked in our heart, surrender happens, that person realizes the truth fast. Gurudev, in fact, used to say to develop the head is very difficult. Sorry, to develop the head is very easy, but to develop the heart is very difficult. Because logic I use, I can develop logical ability, rational thinking, all that. But to develop the heart, to bring emotions, to invoke love, to invoke compassion, to invoke forgiveness, that is very tough. So our human heritage is the ability to not become sentimental, use the intellect to align with the mind, and direct the emotions towards the goal. So when a higher purpose is there, when a higher goal is there, I'm convinced of that, the emotions can be channelized. So there are many methods. As we go along, we will see how to transform this emotionalism into emotions only. The harmful effect can be removed. So the human heritage, that is the third part of this. More about this, and the last topic is happiness, the joy of living, about happiness. That we will take up in our next session. In what we have covered so far, any doubts, any questions, anything to share? So what we will do also from the next session is, we will learn some basic prayers, chantings. So in the beginning, we will learn for some time different chants which are helpful, and then we will take up our lesson. So I will be putting it on the Google Drive, the soft copies, so that you can go through. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha. Hari Om.